You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 9th of December. Trump threatens new tariffs on India over rice dumping in US. Pakistan's Asim Munir continues warmongering, says India shouldn't be in delusion. And not fair, say Afghan-American leaders on US move to halt immigration. And now for all the details. US President Donald Trump has warned that he may introduce new tariffs on agricultural imports, especially on rice imports from India. Trump made these remarks during a meeting at the White House, where he unveiled a multi-billion-dollar farm relief package for American farmers, while criticizing agricultural imports from India, China, and Thailand. The Republican leader claimed imports were challenging domestic producers and reiterated his intent to address the issue by using tariffs aggressively to protect American producers. India-US agricultural trade has expanded over the past decade, with India exporting basmati, other rice products, spices and marine goods, while importing US almonds, cotton and pulses. Disputes over subsidies, market access and World Trade Organization complaints against India, particularly involving rice and sugar, have periodically strained bilateral negotiations. This development comes as US trade negotiators are set to hold talks in New Delhi this week, led by Deputy US Trade Representative Rick Switzer and Brendan Lynch, the chief negotiator for the India.
You want more? I mean,
well, they're cheating, right? They're they're just subsidizing and then.
Scott, India. Tell me about India. Why is India allowed to do that? They have to pay tariffs. Do they have an exemption on rice?
No, sir. We're still working on their trade deal. So
yeah, but they should be dumping. I mean, I heard that from others. You can't do that.
There's a WTO case against India now.
Give me the countries, if you could. Go ahead. India. Who else?
So India.
Mark it down. What'd you say?
Yes, sir.
India, Thailand, China into Puerto Rico, not into the continental U.S., but into Puerto Rico. Those are the main culprits.
In his first address after taking over as Pakistan's Chief of Defence Forces, Field Marshal Asim Munir has issued a fresh warning to India. Speaking after receiving a Guard of Honour, Munir claimed that Pakistan's response to any future aggression would be even more swift, severe and intense. Local media reported Munir called the launch of the newly created Defence Forces headquarters historic and said that unified command will strengthen multi-domain operations by integrating the Army, Air Force and Navy, while retaining their individual autonomy. Munir reportedly also praised Pakistan's military performance in response to India's Operation Sindoor, calling it a case study for future conflicts. Munir, elevated to Field Marshal after India's heavy blows to Pakistan's security establishment during Operation Sindoor, now holds the CDF role alongside his 5-year term as Army Chief. The new post comes following President Zardari's approval of the 2025 amendment bills restructuring Pakistan's armed forces. Moving on. In Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, a deepening governance crisis is fueling public anger ahead of elections in January 2026. With growing distrust in the interim setup, citizens are demanding transparency and accountability from the very institutions overseeing the electoral process.
As Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan moves toward assembly elections scheduled for January 24, 2026, public frustration is mounting over what many residents describe as a deepening crisis of governance. Concerns have now intensified with the formation of a new interim setup, which locals fear is already compromised. The rising discontent was evident during a recent gathering at the Gilgit Press Club, where citizens openly voiced their grievances.
गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में एक पिछली मर्तबा खालिद खुर्शीद साहब की गवर्नमेंट के बाद एक गुलबर साहब की गवर्नमेंट बनी और उस गवर्नमेंट ने 2.5 साल यहाँ की यूथ को फ्रस्ट्रेशन का शिकार बनाया और उन्होंने अपने ही जेबें भरें, अयाशियों के सामान उन्होंने चुने और आवाम को कुछ नहीं दिया। और अभी एक निगरान सेटअप आ रहा है। निगरान सेटअप किसी भी इलाके में या किसी भी खित्ते में या किसी भी मुल्क में या किसी भी सूबे में बनता है तो एक न्यूट्रल सेटअप बनता है। बदकिस्मती से गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का जो अभी निगरान सेटअप बनने जा रहा है, वहीं से चले हुए कारतूस पुराने वज़ीर और मुशीर अपना दावपेच खेल रहे हैं, हाथ पांव चला रहे हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं। कोई पैसे दे के अपना निगरान सेटअप के अंदर एडजस्ट होने की कोशिश कर रहा है, तो कोई इदारों को ब्लैकमेल करके कोशिश कर रहा है एडजस्ट होने के लिए।
Public distrust is now turning into a direct challenge to the institutions managing the electoral process. Locals argue that if transparency is not the goal, the very idea of an interim setup becomes meaningless.
गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में साफ शफाफ इलेक्शन कराने के ख्वाह नहीं है, ख्वाहिशमंद नहीं है, तो आप इस निगरान सेटअप को बना ही क्यों रहे हैं? आप अपनी मर्जी का वज़ीर आला सेलेक्ट करें, आप अपनी मर्जी की काबीना बनाएं और हम आवाम को कहें कि आप हमारे गुलाम हैं और आप हमारे सामने सर झुकाकर बैठे रहें और जो हम फैसले करें वो तस्लीम करें। अगर हम वाकई गुलाम हैं, ज़मीर फरोश लोग हैं, बेगरत लोग हैं, दल्ले हैं, गए गुजरे लोग हैं, तो हम आपके सामने सरेंडर करेंगे। नहीं तो आप लोगों ने जो मनपसंद चुनकर जिन लोगों को नवाजना है, उनकी गिरेबानें होंगी और हमारे हाथ होंगे और उनको उनके ऐवानों के अंदर जला ना दे तो हमारा भी नाम बदल देना।
As POGB stands at this critical crossroads, one thing is clear. The people are no longer willing to remain silent, and the push for accountability is stronger than ever.
And Afghan American leaders are urging the public not to judge their community after an Afghan national, Rahman Ullah Lakhanwal, allegedly shot 2 National Guard members, killing one in Washington on November 26. They stress that one individual's actions should not affect how Afghan immigrants, especially SIV holders who aided US forces, are treated. Community advocates say the incident has already fueled mistrust and anxiety among Afghan families who now fear backlash and uncertainty as the SIV program awaits renewal. US President Donald Trump, after the incident, called for his government to re-examine Afghan immigrants who entered the country during former President Joe Biden's administration.
That's not a fair decision to stop them from coming here or to send some of them back because of their visa status. Since this incident happened in DC and since the Trump administration said like no more immigrations to the United States, people are in a very critical situation. They're in a very bad situation.
Most shooters are white males between 18 and 25 that are American. Like, let's say that happens, suddenly we're going to start, like, I don't know, requiring, mental health background checks and all sorts of gun requirements for that age population, like just somehow targeting and persecuting one population just because of one lone wolf. It's just...
Bangladesh Nationalist Party's senior leader, Ishtiaq Aziz Ulfat, has called Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message wishing speedy recovery to ailing ex-PM of Bangladesh, Khalida Zia, a great move. I think the Indian government took the right decision to give this message. Also, BNP was reciprocal in a similar way of accepting this with gratitude, Ulfat told ANI in an interview. PM Modi, in a post on X, extended India's support as he wished Khalida Zia a quick recovery. The 80-year-old former Prime Minister has been admitted in hospital since November 23rd with a severe lung and chest infection affecting her heart. She remains in a very critical condition under the supervision of local and foreign specialists, reports suggest.
Well, it's a great move. I think the Indian government took the right decision to give out this message. And also, BNP was reciprocal in a similar way of accepting this with gratitude. Yes, Begum Khalida Zia is one of the greatest women that we will not see for a long, long time. What she did this for country after her husband's brutal murder was extraordinary. From a housewife, she became a politician. And through her personality, she not only won the heart of every Bangladeshi, almost every Bangladeshi, and respect, but she got a lot of respect and love from all over the world. So with India and Modi coming out with this message, I think is a very positive move.
And the third edition of the cultural festival organized by the Embassy of India was held in Nepal's Lumbini, the birthplace of Gautam Buddha. The one-day festival celebrates the rich cultural heritage and traditions of both India and Nepal, with a special focus on Buddhism. The event underscored the strong cultural and historical bonds between the two nations. It witnessed enthusiastic participation from civil society members, academics and senior monks, and saw performances by renowned artists from both India and Nepal. The highlight was an Odissi dance recital with a Buddhist theme presented by a 6-member ICCR troupe led by Sandhya Kunjan Menandas. The evening also included traditional musical performance by Nepali band Gugu Mugu.
Our two countries, as you all know, share not only very close cultural and civilizational ties, but also a shared reverence for Lord Buddha and his teachings. Lord Buddha was born in this sacred city of Lumbini, and he delivered his first sermon in Sarnath. His life and journey form an enduring and unparalleled bond between our two countries that adds to the unique relationship between India and Nepal.
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.